welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Rob, this is Painter Servant combo. Painter is extremely well positioned in the metagame right now, for a variety of reasons. The top three decks are Dimir, with or without the Grief and Reanimator package, and then Eldrazi, and then Grixis Delver. The three of those decks together represent over 40% of the metagame. And this deck has 7 main deck Red Blasts that can kill Psychic Frog as cleanly as anything. And for the Eldrazi deck, we have 4 copies of Painter Servant in the main because that's our combo. And Painter turns things into colors. All of the Eldrazi lands and Eldrazi effects call out colorless Eldrazi spells you cast, which means Eye of Ugin no longer reduces their Eldrazi if there's a Painter Servant in play. Eldrazi Temple only taps for 1. Their deck gets really awkward and weird with a Painter Servant in play. We also have 4 copies of Magus of the Moon in the sideboard, really slamming that button, which is one of the best buttons you can slam against Eldrazi. And the deck after those 3 decks I listed in the metagame is Painter, and the 5th deck after Painter is 5-color Beanstalk, which Magus of the Moon also devastates. This deck also can play Vexing Bauble in the main, because the only thing it steps on is Lotus Petal. We got 3 copies of that. That shuts down Grief, shuts down Force of Will, punches a hole for the combo. It also has a combo, Grindstone. Target player mills 2. If they share a color, repeat this process. Painter Servant makes them all the same color. There goes your whole deck. That's a nice way to get out ahead of a Psychic Frog. Just kill your opponent outright when the shields are down. Ensnaring Bridge in the main can shut down a big Psychic Frog, can shut down everything out of Eldrazi. Some Eldrazi decks can't even answer this in the main. We got engines on top of lock pieces, on top of efficient removal and counterspells for exactly what the format is about right now. I've been saying for a month or so now, and we've been saying on the Eternal Glory podcast for a month or so now, that Painter is extremely well positioned in this metagame, and it's likely to be a big winner when those August ban announcements finally happen in a few weeks. I think the Painter shell is safe, I dare say. They're not going to ban anything out of this, so being good with this deck now might give you a jump into the post-ban format. Let's check it out. This is Rob's Mono Red Painter. I'm on the draw in round 1. My hand kind of stinks. If I could cast this Fable, I'd keep it, but there is not enough going on here with the Lotus Petal. Okay, it's kind of a side grade into this hand. I have 3 mana, but I don't have Fable to cast. I have Phyrexian Dragon Engine, which is way worse. And my red mana is not stable. I guess we're going to 5. Tough start. Oh, come on. At some point, you just got to stop and accept your fate. I'm going to keep this 5. It casts the Hearse and the Painter. And I think I'm going to put Pyroblast and Lightning Bolt to the bottom. We just got to rip a Mountain or a Grindstone, and we've got a plan. Chrome Mox. All right. Who plays Chrome Mox these days? This is Red Prison. Okay, I've been Mooned, which kind of affects my deck a little bit. These Pyroblast will be good if I can get this Painter into play, but they are very blank right now. Opponent's attacking for 3. Obviously not going to block. Can we get a mana source? Absolutely not. I guess I'm just passing. The Magus did slow me down quite a bit here. We have 4 mana for Fury. Okay. Well, that was a hard cast Fury off of Elvish Spirit Guide. Suspicious that that was in there. So this looks actually like maybe red-green initiative more than it looks like mono-red Stompy. Kind of weird. That's not a deck that's been around much lately. But certainly a deck we could cut all these Pyroblasts against. Lightning Bolt is good against Minskin Boo and Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Fury's great. Ensnaring Bridge, probably pretty good. Unlicensed Hearse, probably pretty bad. A lot of bad cards here. Apostle's Blessing. If it's not for this, what's it for? Vexing Bauble on the play actually doesn't seem that bad. I am not particularly set up for this. Am I supposed to just try to moon them? But Urza's Saga is a good tool. I have a lot of cards I just don't want in my deck right now. Tough pairing for round 1 after saying how well positioned this deck is. Okay, leaving in 1 Pyroblast means that I could kill and counter stuff if I have Painter around. That feels better than Unlicensed Hearse, which may or may not attack as a creature sometimes. Pyroblast also bitches to Fury, which I just brought in 3 of. Okay. This is the balance I'm going to try to strike here. Let's just keep a playable hand. Okay, this hand rules. Keep. I'm going to play Vexing Bauble. Do I want to play 2 Vexing Baubles? Or do I want my life total to be higher? I'm going to play 2 Vexing Baubles. Bauble. Bauble. Pass. Those are just cards in the bank for later. Yeah, good start. Put that in the graveyard. Got a Chrome Mox too. I'm ready. They started with a Fable off of a Spirit Guide. That is also my plan. Goblin Engineer can't bring Chaos Defiler back from the graveyard, or else I would do that. I would have to get something like Dragon Engine, which I can take my time to do. I hope. They discarded Chrome Mox. They did have one of those blanked. They have an uncounterable Goblin spell, Broadside Bombardiers. I might just die here. And this treasure token can kill my Goblin Shaman. Okay, we need a big Fable. Well, I can discard 2 of these Ancient Tombs. Goblin Welder and Goblin Engineer. Oh, Vexing Bauble. You were the chosen one. Okay, if I tap Ancient Tomb, I'm at 10. They're attacking for 4. They can fling this for 5. I'm at 1 on board if I tap an Ancient Tomb. I can't tap Ancient Tomb twice this whole game. I think I have to draw a card with Vexing Bauble. Grindstone. What does that do? Unfortunately, nothing. I'm just out of life points to operate with. Lightning Bolt's good. Just dig till you hit something. Ancient Tomb, I can play that now. Lightning Bolt, the Bombardiers. Now I can afford to lose some life. Vexing Bauble and Grindstone. And pass. Now Painter Servant is a live draw. Fable flips. They didn't play another Broadside. That's a good start. Once Upon a Time hardcast off of Treasure Token. That's a real cost. Undermount Adventurer. Gruul Initiative confirmed. And they're playing Magus of the Moon. That makes it so Painter off the top doesn't win the game. Goblin Welder number 3. Okay, so I can play Welder and Engineer, put Painter in the graveyard, hope to draw a mana source. Welder, Engineer. Or no, I have a Welder, so I don't need a mana source. Dump a Painter. Gotta survive this turn. They need a basic Forest now that their Magus turned off their own Adventurer. And they can play it after combat, but I don't care about that anymore. I want to block Goblin Shaman. If they have Fury, none of this matters. Or if they have Fury, the Welder from hand getting copied by the Reflection, I would need to draw a mana source versus just taking 2 from literally anything here. I'm not blocking. I'm going to 2. Guess they could also Fury their own Magus and lock me under my Ancient Tombs. Okay, that I don't care about. They searched up Basic Forest and played it. They can copy that thing in Forge or Lost Well, but they are currently just dead. Okay, so we hold priority. Grindstone target you. Goblin Welder turn Grindstone into Painter Servant. And I will name Red, I guess. Not convinced it matters. Oh wait, I am still dead. That's so smart. Because they have the initiative. They can get into... Oh god, this is all crazy. Because Magic Online had extra text to it. But yeah, if they copy this in the end step, and this isn't a land, so I can't copy anything and make an extra attack. I also can't attack and get the initiative right now. Yeah, I'm just dead. Sick. Sick line. I do care about this, it turns out. And being at 4 instead of 2 would not have changed anything. As long as they go into the correct room here. They figured it out. GG. That was tight. Their build with probably all 8 Spirit Guides in it is a huge boon against what I'm doing, where traditional Red Prison would lean more on Lotus Petal and Chrome Mox, where the Vexing Bauble would have been good.
This Vexing Bubble even countered a spell, and they had Chromux in their hand, and it still didn't matter. GG, 1 turn behind. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2 with a powerful hand that I'm going to keep. I just have to figure out how I'm going to sequence it. If I play Welder on 1, that opens up the most insane turn 2s. Like, this Engineer can start becoming anything, but I need another artifact before that happens. I could Saga game and just play Saga, then Ancient Tomb, make constructs. I think I just want to invest in Welder. That feels like the thing that will be the most powerful. The Saga also gets Grindstone, which goes with Painter. Once upon a time, what is happening in this league? Did everybody figure out that we should just be jamming and there's no art to Legacy right now? Oh, wow. You do not want to find Dryad Arbor on turn 1 once upon a time. I'm sure that's not what they wanted. Okay, multiple painters here. I could just paint it blue and blast their Dryad Arbor. Paint it blue. I am just going to be aggro about this. Destroy target blue permanent, that one. And I'll attack for 1. I could start Chaos Defiling all their non-land permanents starting next turn. Or I could just Grindstone them, probably. Okay. Wow, traditional combo elves. Spooky. Okay, I can attack with Painter. All right, I'm going to play Saga. I'm going to attack with Painter. I can play the other Painter and Goblin Engineer, and then just blow up their permanent. I'm going to paint it blue again, and I'm going to Goblin Engineer. I don't think they're going to beat a Chaos Defiler. I turn the tap Painter into a Defiler. Kill your Heritage Druid. Okay. Yeah, the Grindstone is ticking anyway, and I think they might just die to damage or get hard-locked on the board before I even end up grinding them. Okay, Heritage Druid and Dryad Arbor were the 2 plays. Fury seems like something I'm interested in. Once again, Red Blast and Unlicensed Hearse seem mediocre. Lightning Bolt clearly coming in. Mooning them might be good enough if we're just talking about strictly in terms of getting rid of cards I don't want in my deck. Okay, let's do it. Fury's going to be the MVP here, though. Or just killing them. Just killing them is always the MVP when you're a combo deck. This hand, once again, a little stinky. What is the actual mana count in this deck? 21 lands plus Lotus Petal and Spirit Guide, which means with 1 land in my hand and a Spirit Guide, there are 21 mana sources in my deck. I have 2 draws before I'm super bummed about missing. I think I can mulligan. Yep, good mulligan. Soul Guide Lantern's still in the deck. Just can't get rid of all the bad cards. I'll keep this and put away. I think I'm going to bin this Spirit Guide. Or, yeah, Soul Guide Lantern's my artifact. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Spirit Guide. This is another turn 2 Chaos Defiler. Bayou, Heritage Druid. Hope I get a turn 2. It's actually debatable in this environment. Goblin Welder. Combo Elves is not something we've seen since the Bowmaster age. Second Druid. Okay, they still have 3 mana up. That's not enough to Natural Order. It is enough to collect a Roof, which I don't actually care about here. Doesn't affect my line at all. Glimpse of Nature. Well, if they just win, I care about that. Okay, they're just cantripping off their Collector Roof. Deal. Alright. Can I draw Ancient Tomb? Magus of the Moon. That does protect my City of Traders next turn. Okay. Soul Guide Lantern. Exile the thing I can exile. Goblin Engineer. Get Chaos Defiler. Let me just make sure there's not something better. Nope. Chaos Defiler. Flip them. See if I get Endurance or Surgical here. Nope. Okay. I think I want to destroy... Am I even worried about Collector Oof on this board? I don't think I am. They have 2 Heritage Druids. I can't destroy Gaia's Cradle. I think I'm going to take the Elvish Visionary, which might be too clever, but also feels good to me. That stops Wirewood Symbiote from being a draw engine. Yeah, played around it. 2 cards in hand. If I just get natural ordered here, it's not going to matter. Fetching Dryad Arbor is scary. Okay, natural order did occur. Hoof. We've got 29 damage coming in, and I can absorb 6 of it. That doesn't quite work. None of their creatures have first strike, unfortunately, or else Chaos Defiler would actually get this done. Okay, taking turns, just going off on each other. And now, Pithing Needle. I can name Wirewood Symbiote with that. It is literally just an artifact. I don't think Vexing Bauble is doing anything. If anything, it's turning off my Furies, but being an artifact for those quick welder draws is nice. I don't think any of the cards I'm playing or in my sideboard are better than Vexing Bauble, though I also think Vexing Bauble's bad. Unless I want to up my red count for Fury while giving myself an out if I just happen to have a painter. Okay, this hand is slow, and Urza Saga plus Magus of the Moon is not a combo. However, I'm on the play with a Lightning Bolt. I'm going to give myself that chance to play. Dryad Arbor pass. Kill that. Ancient Tomb, what's up? We did it. I'm going to lead on Fable because they can't use Cradle until next turn anyway. This also hardcast Chaos Defiler. 3 Chaos Defiler games in a row. You love to see it. Zenith for 0 gets another Dryad Arbor. Okay, I'm going to discard Urza Saga and Mountain because I'm going to Moon, which means Saga doesn't work. Oh, wow. This kills non-lands, which means I can't kill Dryad Arbor anyway. I'm just going to attack. And then I have Magus of the Moon and Lightning Bolt. That does still make mana, so I'm going to get rid of it. Even a colorless mana is too much for me. Okay. They're Force of Vigoring in response, pitching Atraxa, and that's mostly whatever. I'll float a red, just to make a point. Okay. I won't be able to cast Chaos Defiler next turn unless I draw a land, but they need a basic forest to do anything here. They probably play like 2 of those. Vexing Bauble. That is a redraw, if nothing else. It also stops future Forces of Vigor. It's going to be really sad that I'm going to have a Chaos Defiler and it's not going to kill anything. I'm not going to draw a Vexing Bauble. Let's keep it around. We attack. Goblin Engineer. That is a pivot I can appreciate. I think I want to get a Painter here. With Pyroblast in hand. It's just a nice thing to have access to, plus that is my combo kill, obviously. I'm not sacking this Bauble. It's currently turning off Endurance and Force of Vigor. Just all the most important things on the earth. And another Fable. I'm just going to leave up the ability to flip into Painter and then also Pyroblast something if I need it. They're dead on board also. Just while I've been setting up all these engines, their life total has been dropping. Mana in the pool. Oh, changed their mind. Dismember is what's going on here. Okay. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Painter Servant. Pay red. Sack a treasure. Paint it blue. Counter this Dismember. I don't know if they could have strung something together with their mana unlocked, but I don't want to find out. GG's. That was a bloodbath. None of those 3 games were particularly interesting or satisfying. Just lockout, lockout, lockout. I guess I did make some decisions this game, but on to the next round. This league's going fast.
Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic.
I'm on the draw for round 3. I am going to keep my hand even though it's kind of mid. Chaos Defiler once again making its presence known. But Soulguide Lantern does line up just as a Magic card against a large swath of the format right now, which is what I'm keeping on the strength of. Soulguide into Fable is a plan, as far as I'm concerned. Cloudpost. Plan looks worse. Grindstone. Okay. I will cast that. Those Magus of the Moons are going to be important. And this deck probably also has Emrakul in it, which means that I actually do need Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, they Spirit Guided out a One Ring. Planar Nexus is a Locust. Welder's cool, but I'm definitely playing Fable. Just gotta get things going here. Tapping the ring, up to 8 cards in hand. Turn 2 One Ring on the play is pretty good. I was impressed by my turn 2 Fable, but they got me beat here. Another Locust and everything else. Ooh, I just noticed something very important. Planar Nexus used to read all land types, but now it specifically writes out Cave, Desert, Gate Layer, Locust Sphere, etc. That may have unlocked a deck in my recording queue. I'm very excited if true. Vexing Bauble. I don't think I'm going to want that card. Bauble and Ensnaring Bridge go away. Or Chaos Defiler. That is Destroy, so that doesn't help me here. Okay. There's a Saga. Any land I play will kill my City of Traders. I have to be just cognizant of that. I think this turn I'm playing Engineer, Welder, and Soul Guide Lantern. Engineer. Entomb a Painter Servant. Play this Mountain. Maybe I sandbag the Soul Guide Lantern, actually. Because if they think I'm just going to go off into Emrakul, or whatever Eldrazi's in their deck, I might be able to get them with the Lantern, but if they see it, then they know they have to play around it. Yikes. Exiling my graveyard and making a bunch of mana. Kozilek's Command. And they draw another 3 cards with the ring. That was my big moment, and I believe the moment has passed, though still drawing Painters is a good thing. Third Planar Nexus. They filtered a green, which probably indicates Sowing Myco Spawn. Yup. Still can't concede, but it is getting bad. Another Cloud Post. Normally this is about where they'd be running out of cards, but the One Ring makes that not really a thing that's going to happen. Spirit Guide. That is a little burst of extra mana. Soul Guide Lantern. Exile your Bajuka Bog. And if I attack with the Goblin, that gives me mana to self-Grindstone. And if I'm able to grind a Painter into my own graveyard, we're suddenly back in business. Yeah, I'm going to sack the Goblin here for a treasure, basically. I'm just salivating thinking about all those Magus of the Moons in my sideboard. Glimmer Post, just gain 6. It's a powerful interaction when you're bleeding out to the One Ring. Ulamog, okay. Targeting my lands. Yeah, alright. That was a good target. I'm out. You got me. Bringing all these Magus of the Moons. Pithing Needle can name the One Ring. Once again, Unlicensed Hearse comes out. Third consecutive matchup, not playing as any of the decks I mentioned in the pre-show. I could see Ensnaring Bridge having text. Chaos Defiler is not bad, though they did show me multiple indestructible permanents. The Red Blast kind of stink, but if I could start picking off their lands with a Painter, that's really exciting. I think Soul Guide Lantern existing and Vexing Bauble existing for the Welders to move in and out of play is actually important. Apostle's Blessing, hilariously, is the color of your choice or artifacts. You can't choose colorless. Get protected from Eldrazi. I don't really think Lightning Bolt's doing much, but neither any of these other cards. Okay. Ay, caramba. A Magus of the Moon, and I can accelerate into it. However, it kills the 2 lands that I can play. I'm going to keep, but I'm nervous. Do I lead on Bauble or Welder? Probably Bauble. In case they Once Upon a Time or Force of Vigor doesn't kill Magus anyway. A Vexing Bauble and pass. I'd love to just draw a City of Traders and be able to keep these Urza Sagas in my hand. Cloud Post. Goblin Engineer. Alright. Well, we saw last game, if I give them an inch, they take a mile. With the One Ring off of Cloud Post Go. I'll just take my medicine here and hope this attacks for 20 on its own. Haywire Might. Hey, that does not kill any of my stuff. Hey, City of Traders. It's a turn late, but I'm still interested. Opponent knows that's what I drew for turn, or else I would have played it last turn. I think I want to set up the Welder, because once again, the Welder is more broken than the Engineer. Urza's Tower, another Welder. I'm going to play this Engineer and put Chaos Defiler in the graveyard, and then flip Bauble into Defiler. Kill your Haywire Might. Just clearing the runway for attacks. That's how we win this game. This is also just a 5-power creature. I have Ugin. They can play the One Ring. Bummer. But I can turn the One Ring into a Haywire Might with Welder. Mountain, Goblin Welder. When do I want to do this? Probably just right now. Yeah, they'd get another card if I wait. There's your Haywire Might. No reason to attack. Forest is pretty strong. That does unlock some amount of cards in their deck. Luckily, the moon that I played was Magus and not Blood. Another ring. Hate to see it. That means I have to sack my Chaos Defiler to get back Vexing Bauble, which will kill Haywire Might, and then I can weld this ring back into Haywire Might, or else I'm just welding rings back and forth. End of turn, bring back Vexing Bauble, sack Chaos Defiler. When it dies, the thing happens. Maybe I should have gone to my turn to play around Graveyard Hate with this. There is currently a window where I can't, or I don't have any artifacts at the moment anyway. Yeah, I would have been without an artifact for at least some amount of time. Okay, a Lightning Bolt and a bunch of creatures that can't do stuff. Weld the One Ring into Haywire Might. Again. They play their 6th land now, which is dangerously close to All Is Dust, which actually does beat Magus of the Moon. That one doesn't require colorless mana. That's just what it costs. Sowing might go spawn. They can't kick it, but they can search for a waste if they have one, or just land number 7 if their plan is to All Is Dust me. Okay, I can actually deal damage this turn for the first time in my life. Vexing Bauble will become Chaos Defiler. Gonna kill Sowing might go spawn. They're playing Disruptor Flute. That's gonna turn off my Welders. Yeah, that works. Except that it doesn't, because I can Goblin Engineer and kill that whenever I want. Yeah, that's fine. Backup Magus. I'm just going to attack for 7. Haywire Might can only exile non-creature artifacts and enchantments, so the Chaos Defiler is safe. If they do have All Is Dust, they have to spend all their cards to cast it. Jesus Christ, another One Ring. Okay. That resolves. I can stop them from drawing any cards this turn, though, because I can kill the ring with 0 card things on it. Yeah, Bauble. Sack Chaos Defiler. Defiler, kill the Disruptor Flute. And then weld the One Ring into Disruptor Flute. Wait, I should let this resolve and then continue what I'm doing. Because I want Chaos Defiler back before I give them their Disruptor Flute again. This will kill Haywire Might. And now, in response to all of this, the One Ring can become Haywire Might again. And then it will have 0 counters on it when this ability resolves, and they will draw 0 cards. They do have protection from everything, though, for the turn. Goblin Welder, Absolute Menace versus decks that contain artifacts. Okay, there's 1 ring left in the deck, finally living up to its name. Karn the Great Creator. That one's pretty good. I have Chaos Defiler and Lightning Bolt, though. I'm not worried about much that could happen out of this Karn. It's making a wish. Walking Ballista. Okay, whatever. Walking Ballista resolves. Their plan is probably to kill Magus of the Moon with that, but I have another one. Okay, end of turn. Goblin Welder, Chaos Defiler into Vexing Bauble. The Chaos Defiler. Wow, they let it resolve. I'll choose Ballista. There's no additional opportunity to respond to that. Once that trigger resolves, it happens. Yeah, we got an oops in the chat. I agree. I had it covered, which they mentioned they watched my videos. They'll see it later. But yeah, that was also just a big oops. I will kill Karn. I'm having a good time with this Chaos Defiler, let me tell you. Okay, attack with my jerks. They can actually deal damage. Okay, Haywire Might's dead. Opponent's at 12. Fable. We can do something with this Urza Saga, I hope. I'm still worried about All Is Dust. Okay, they scooped it. Cool. Seeing Karn makes me think that maybe Lightning Bolt is better than a Pyroblast that only works if I have Painter. Apostle's Blessing can get stop Dismember. Maybe that's better than Pyroblast. If we are playing a whole game around Magus of the Moon and nothing else, Could also name artifact if they get Walking Ballista. And Vexing Bauble was my only other artifact for that whole game. I mentioned it is literally an artifact for welders, even if it doesn't have any other text. And that turned out to be important. Okay, this hand sucks. I would mulligan this even if I wasn't dependent on Magus of the Moon for the matchup to work. Magus of the Moon and Protection, but it's very slow. I think it's good enough. Got to keep it. And I'm going to get rid of this Vexing Bauble. I can't imagine that being what I need here. I can Needle the One Ring. Fable's cool. Pithing Needle naming the One Ring. I'm just getting ahead of this now. Because one Urza's Tower, and they're in the ring. It's very easy for this deck to get 4 mana. Haywire Might, that can blow up my Needle. At the moment, Apostle's Blessing can protect it, though. That's really funny. We'll see if they go for it. They didn't. That makes me think they don't have the card that I'm worried about. Which then makes me think, why did they keep this hand? Which then makes me think Dismember. Which then makes me want to wait till I have 3 mana to do this. 3 mana plus the Apostle's Blessing. Okay, I'm just going to play Fable this turn. And try to protect Magus with Apostle's Blessing next turn. They could do some big stupid Eldrazi shit this turn, I guess. They only have 3 actual mana right now. Planar Nexus doesn't care about other Planar Nexes. Okay, Fable triggers. I'm going to get rid of Vexing Bauble for sure, and probably Simian Spirit Guide as well. Chaos Defiler! It's always here when we need it. Answers the call. Goblin Shim and get in there. Now we'll see if my patience was rewarded. Okay, that resolved. They have a red in the pool. Did they board in Lightning Bolts? They have a Dismember. I also have a Phyrexian Mana spell. Protection from black. And we get a phenomenal exchange here. I wonder if they even play 2 Dismembers or have access to 2 Dismembers. And this play made possible because my opponent was doing suspicious stuff. And you can definitely use what I call negative space information. Like what they're not doing tells you what they are doing. Okay, Painter, not great here. I'm going to attack Karn with both my creatures and see how they feel about that. Attack Karn, the Great Creator. They'll probably chump block and let Karn go to 1. If Karn dies, I'm going to Defile the Chaos like crazy. Ooh, no blocks. Let's go. Chaos Defiler and Goblin Welder. The Welder could have been in play last turn, but then I would still be able to play Defiler. Yeah, the Welder could have been in play last turn off the Treasure, and maybe that would be enough here. The opponent can Ballista for 2. Yep, there's that. Are they just going to kill off Magus of the Moon before anything else happens? Okay, I am going to go to combat. And they could kill Magus anyway. I might as well get in the red zone with it. Oh, did I have a lethal attack? Hold on. Hold your horses. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not quite. Okay, I'm passing priority here. They're going to ping the Magus. I have the ability to destroy multiple permanents at will. I'm going to paint it blue, which will turn off Eye of Ugin and make it so all his dust kills all permanents. Not that I really want all permanents to die, but okay, cool. They just kept a hand on the strength of answering Magus, and then the hand never really came together. GG's. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. On the play in round 4, this hand would be really good against Rescaminator if I knew that's what I was playing against. However, I don't. I'm going to mulligan this. Okay, this is a very similar hand, but with real lands in it instead. I'm gonna bottom one of the Pyroblast and play Mountain. I need a mana for this hand to really do anything, but the deck's full of that. An Island, Pyroblast is good against that. Lightning Bolt's better against this. Bolt that idiot. Mountain was a great draw that lets me do Saga stuff or play Fable the Mirror Breaker. Decks that lead on basic Island Tameo. That's an interesting conundrum. Is this going to be some Stoneblade deck? Are they going to be Dimir with frogs? Tameo is not typically a legacy staple these days. I am going to counter this rather than let it resolve. That doesn't really matter, but... Or if they are a Reanimator deck, it being in play could get the Attracts into the graveyard, so that actually matters a lot. Countering slightly better than killing in that instance. Drew another Red Blast, that's cool. Okay, we're Esper something or other. Another Frog. In this case, I want to make at least one Construct, and then decide what I'm doing with Red Blast. Construct. I would love to draw a red source land. Okay. Second Construct. Probably tutored Lotus Petal here. There's no Mox Opal in this build. There's frequently one. So if I get Soul Guide Lantern, they can't give this frog flying. Okay, I'm going to do that, actually. And take the other frog out of the graveyard. And I'm just going to leave the squad back to double block this thing. They have to get another card in their graveyard before they can jump the frog. The frog can become 6/7 if they discard their whole hand, which is what it would take to beat my constructs. And if they do all that, then Pyroblast gets them. They would have to discard 2 cards to beat this construct. Going for the double. If they Swords to Plowshares 1 construct, then discard 1 card. That's a pretty good exchange for them. But all of this is just flushing cards out of their hand before I could kill the frog. Discarded back to basics. Spooky. Okay. And that line ends up exactly the same, whether I single block or double block. Though that doesn't matter. Oh, 4 of a kind. Dealer, hit me. I'm not sure if this is going to be a Daze deck. I'm just going to Reb this now, and then draw a card with Soul Guide Lantern if this resolves, and probably also if it doesn't resolve. Brainstorm in response. They're looking for that solution. Oh, they found it. I guess I'll draw a card in response. Not that there's anything that would help me in this situation. I did find my land, and now we're going to learn how good Psychic Frog is. It is worth going all in on. That Force Pitch to Ponder. I do have 5 more Pyroblasts in my deck. That's not one of them. Fable will get me back in this. Mana is being tapped in the end step. Bowmaster makes Fable Chapter 2 a lot weirder. Prismatic Ending. Yep, this is Frog Gaming now. They just are going to have more cards than me forever. My Goblin Shaman being dead, though, means I can go all the way in on this Fable and just take the damage. Phyrexian Dragon Engine. I'm going to discard one of the Fables and guess the Engine. Take the beats. Didn't find a Pyroblast. Saga. Fable. Petal to play around Daze, and then Welder. Didn't do anything in the end step. My permanents are all still here. Trying to leverage card selection while protecting my life total on the way to assembling Painter combo is probably my best way out of this game at this point. Another Prismatic Ending. Probably taking 5 here. I'm not going to block. I need all my resources, including this Goblin. Oh, they're just giving it flying anyway. That must mean their hand is bad. I discarded Underground Sea. Yeah, if they were okay... If they weren't worried about the card, they would just let that go through, and I was not going to block anyway, so I think the coast is clear, except for the card they just drew, which is probably Tameo. Okay, how can we get out of this? 3 Fables trigger, or 3 Sagas trigger. I think I should get rid of this excess Fable, keep the Welder. It does an extra damage to me. And attack with my Goblin Shaman. Or does that matter? I could block with a Construct. Yeah, okay. And this attack will make the Construct bigger. Welder. And I'm all in. I'm going to need every resource to win this game. Sandbagging a land, I don't think is going to matter. They could hit me for 5 flying right now. I'm still at 2. They can definitely flip Tamiyo if they want to. Frog can fly. And Frog is bigger. Discard a Flooded Strand. Orc Army and Tamiyo also attacking. Going to make a construct to block the Orc Army with. Oh, they're drawing a card in combat. Alright, yeah, they haven't drawn 3 yet. The Psychic Frog will be the flip. Just looking for a way to push extra damage through. They just drew a Plow. That's really good. I'll make the block that keeps me alive. I do get to tutor a Grindstone this turn. Tamiyo's about to flip. I can also start welding Soul Guide Lantern to make Frog unable to fly. But they have 3 cards in hand. They could just discard those 3 cards and give it flying. And there's a fetch land in play. That's a big ask. Okay, the ask just became more reasonable. Make a construct. Tutor for... I guess it's Grindstone. I just have to be able to high roll my way out of this somehow. Grindstone. Unlicensed Hearse. Exile 2 cards from their graveyard. And I'm going to attack with Goblin. Attack Tamiyo with Goblin. Goblin's a 1-1, or 1-2 in combat. I think I have exactly enough artifacts to... or Soul Guide Lantern. If they just hold priority, discard 3 cards, I can't stop flying. Exile this Brainstorm. Yeah, I don't think this is winnable. Unless they mess up. Which I'm not afraid to play to my outs. Letting opponents mess up is a big part of my brand. Should be the part in the toolbox of any good Magic player. Yeah, there's no way around the Psychic Frog. It's messed up. I'm going to exile their graveyards in response to this fetch. They let that happen. +1. +1. This is the opportunity for them to mess up right now. Okay. They know how the stack works. It's really hard to make that mistake. They gave Frog flying. They could have waited on that until to see what I'm welding. But it doesn't matter. Okay. You found the line. Psychic Frog, too good. Okay, here we bring in the 8th Red Blast. I'm not going to bring in Magus of the Moon against a deck that showed me back to basics. I like Fury here. I don't like Unlicensed Hearse. It had like a moment to do something there, but it didn't do it. Because the thing it wanted to do isn't actually possible. Vexing Bauble can back off of those a little bit, though that game did come down to a force of will. Ensnaring Bridge, I could not find that in time. Yeah, I think I'm shaving Baubles here, leave 1 in. I think Needle on Psychic Frog actually does make it a 1-2. Lightning Bolt, we did see Tamiyo and Orcish Bowmaster. Do I actually want Ensnaring Bridge? Is that how I think this game's going to go? Ensnaring Bridge, Bauble, Soul Guide Lantern are things I'm looking at cutting here. What am I doing with this 1 Vexing Bauble? It's there to turn off Force of Will in my deck with 8 Red Blasts. I'll just Red Blast it. Okay, I like this. It does things, and it does more things. Does a lot of things. This is the sort of quadruple engine hand that Painter can use to overwhelm a blue deck. They've got a Tamiyo. I've got a Red Blast that can answer Tamiyo at some point. I'm just going to cast spells for now. We're in there. The Goblin Shaman represents an artifact that can get Welder going. A second island. There's not many spells that casts that I care about. And they just didn't do anything. Do I want to discard any of these cards? I think I can live without Fury at this moment. And I don't really want to play City of Traders either. I'd rather any other land. Didn't get it. But Goblin Shaman doing the thing. Okay, I can cast Engineer. And I can protect it with a Red Blast if I need to. That leaves me without an artifact to sacrifice for the turn. But I'd rather resolve my scary thing than not. Hydroblast. Red Blast. And City of Traders wouldn't have changed how much red mana I have access to. You could certainly argue that having that around just to make sure I hit my land drop is worth something, but I'm arguing that it's not. Basic Plains. That can kill Welder. If they have a Ponder or Brainstorm, they can flip Tamiyo. Brainstorm can always flip Tamiyo. If they have a Ponder, they can flip Tamiyo. If they care about that. It doesn't seem very good right now, honestly. I'm a little worried about Surgical Extraction. Yep, right now, while I don't have any artifacts, clearing that Welder makes a lot of sense. Get to flip my Ella And now I can lightning bolt this Tameo pretty heavily. So I think I just want to go into my end step. Yeah, wait for them to crack that so they can't brainstorm in response. Leaving up Red Blast instead of playing Welder there is a stability-related choice. Maybe that's reckless because I also have the treasure and I can just do it all. I just don't want to get Wrath of the Skies for my whole entire board and hand. Harbinger of the Seas. Okay. Resolves. I'm very serious when I say I don't care about that. Okay, I'm going to attack with Goblin Shaman and see what they want to do about that. They might just block, correctly identifying that I don't care about their creature. They did not block. Okay. I'm going to play Welder that I can make a hasty Welder out of at any point. Like, I'm representing Chaos Defiler right now. That does get stopped by Swords to Plowshares, which is why I didn't just run into it. It's a Fairy Time Raveler. I'd rather not play with that card around, though I'm not particularly worried about it specifically. Okay, end step. I'm actually going to copy Goblin Shaman, because once I untap, Welder can just tap, and there's no reason to expose myself to Swords to Plowshares right now. Okay. Let's see if they've got the Graveyard Hate. Okay, they're just scooping. Cool. Too many engines online for the blue deck to keep up with. I've been on the other side of that enough. I think I actually want this Lightning Bolt in. Probably should have been in last game with the Tameos, Bowmasters, and now we've seen Planeswalkers and Harbinger. I don't really see Ensnaring Bridge being an important tool in this matchup, with now 9 other answers to Frog. Okay. I will do it like this. 0 mana sources at all in this hand. Gonna mulligan. I like this well enough. Keep it and bottom one of the mountains. This hand obviously needs to get somewhere before it's any good, but I think it's pretty good at getting there. Seeing the Harbinger is keeping me off of turn 1 Urza Saga. Like Saga, Ancient Tomb, Construct is a pretty good plan versus fair blue decks, but Harbinger blows that out. Soul Guide Lantern, just go into these and play. Get rid of that Ponder. It's worth something to someone. We've seen at least Psychic Frog in their deck that cares about that. They could have Murktide Regent. They could have Snapcaster Mage. I think I'm going to go with a slow Saga plan here, because now I can fight over a Harbinger of the Seas because I have red mana in play. I might even just pop this Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card. They're fetching. Underground Sea. If they cast Bowmaster, I'll draw a card in response. They didn't do it. And they're just passing into my turn. They stopped in their second main. They passed through first main in combat very quickly. And now they're thinking in their second main. I got them in the Urza Saga Squeeze, which means they are not incentivized to do anything, but also they are incentivized to do something because my nothing's better than their nothing. And I'm going with Ancient Tomb here so I can still Pyroblast while doing Saga stuff. Okay. Saga. Go to my turn. Saga. I haven't seen a Dress Down yet. Doesn't mean they don't have them. They're fetching in response. That might just be to play around Needle. Okay. And I do have a Needle. I wasn't going to use it there, but they don't know that. I will get Grindstone. With 2 Red Blasts in my hand, I'm not really worried about needling Psychic Frog. And here comes the 4/4 Beats. And they just took that damage. If they had Swords to Plowshares, they wouldn't do that. Extracting my Urza Sagas. Okay. Have a look at my hand. It's full of good cards. I haven't seen a Painter Servant yet in this match. Maybe one will show up. The coast was clear there to draw a card with Soul Guide Lantern. They tapped out a black, so they're not going to Bowmaster me, but I don't need or care about doing that. I like having extra power and toughness on my constructs compared to an extra card in my hand. And they just passed through their whole turn. Played Prismatic Vista. They just drew a 3rd Red Blast that they don't know about. And I'm ready to attack for 8. They can't take too many hits for 8. Alright, bang. I am not going to cast a spell. Good luck. They didn't do anything for that whole last turn, which makes me feel like they don't have anything to do. And if I don't give them any play to interact with. Okay, Supreme Verdict. That's a solid thing. I'm glad my Fable token didn't get swept up in that. And now I am perfectly happy to Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card. Can we draw a Painter? We did! Can I draw a land? We did not. Okay. Painter Servant on the stack. I'm going to name blue, and I'm going to wait. I now have 3 hard counter Vindicate split cards in my hand, and if they tap out and do anything, I could just kill them. But I don't want to get Swords to Plowshare and taken apart here. I'm going to counter this Prismatic Ending. 5 cards left in their hand and 3 mana. I have 2 mana and 2 more hard counters ready. Even if they win this fight, the result of them winning the fight is me sticking Fable the Mirrorbreaker and Goblin Engineer versus their hand with no cards in it. Another Prismatic Ending. Here's a Pyroblast. I've been boarding out the Pyroblasts in large numbers versus all these non-blue decks we've been playing against, but this is the strength of when you do stick the Painter. Okay, I've untapped. I have exactly what I need to grind them with double backup. Trying to imagine what they could even have that would stop this from this position. It's certainly not that Swords to Plowshares. I don't remember if they've seen 2 Pyroblasts or 2 Red Blasts. I'm going to cast the Pyroblast. And unless they have something in their deck at this point, cool, we did it. That was a perfect, smooth Saga, make them come to me. Just don't play into their interaction. Set up a combo. Even if they did stop the combo, I have 3 more engines I can deploy. This was rock solid deconstruction of a blue deck by a Painter deck. On to the final round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the play in the final round. Positive records locked, playing for the bread and butter 4-1. I kind of like this sequence. The Vexing Bauble turns off interaction, and then I can go Painter, blast whatever, and we'll see where the game is at that point. Maybe this will be the match where Vexing Bauble does something cool. It has done precious little for a 3-of in the main deck throughout this entire league. The opponent's on 6, Bauble, turns off Grief, turns off Chrome Mox, that sort of thing. Oh no, it's the mirror. That's probably not going to do much in the mirror. And now painting things blue seems like a giant liability. But also, what else am I going to do? I could play out this Welder and another Bauble. I could also just lose if they have a follow-up. Alright, I'm going to paint it blue and hope for the best here. Do I destroy Great Furnace or Goblin Welder? It's got to be Welder. Yeah, this is risky, but so is leaving Goblin Welder and play in a mirror match. My hand was not built for this. Alright, Lightning Bolt. Jeez, chill. That's just the best card. Okay. I can play out my Welder and a bonus Bauble, which means I can sack this Bauble to draw a card. I did find a land, but with City of Traders in play, that's not the land I want. I want 4 mana next turn. No! That Soul Guide Lantern's so good! Yeah, we're just in sort of a card drawing contest where their opening hand was much better suited for a mirror match than mine does. Yeah, I'm drawing Pyroblast and they're drawing Fable and Mirror Breakers and Goblin Welders. I did stick a Welder though. I guess I should draw a card here. Draw and play Grindstone. This City of Traders is now officially past its expiration date now that I have multiple lands I can play. Well, I do have a Welder in play, but they have way more going on than me. Yeah, they can filter away their bad Vexing Baubles with Fable. Yeah, just having that Soul Guide Lantern is so messed up. We almost had a real plan. Okay, deck. I get it. I get it. I'm poorly positioned for the mirror with this build, or with at least with this hand. You can chill now, deck. They're sacking Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card. That is a powerful thing to do. If they activate their Welder, I'm going to Grindstone myself and hope to hit something good. Okay. I'm going to Grindstone myself in response. Come on, Chaos Defiler. You've shown up every other game. This is the window. This is the one chance I have to high roll something dope. Ooh, okay. I hit a Dragon Engine. Let's get that in here. Convert these Red Blasts into cards. Yes. Okay. Convert it into a Red Blast and different cards. Okay. That was a big move. We're still behind. They still have Soul Guide Lantern, which means that my welder is severely limited in its capacity. And they're spending mana right now as if they have Lightning Bolt to clear my 2/2 double strike. Oh no, they're just drawing another card. Cool. Alrighty. Reflection flipped. Saga. They have way more mana than they even need to assemble Painter plus Grindstone and activate all in one turn, if they have access to those things. And they do have a great Furnace in play to activate their welder with. Come on, Lightning Bolt. Not a Lightning Bolt. Okay, I'm going to play Engineer. And I am going to Entomb a Chaos Defiler. Now, if they ever tap their Goblin Welder, they're getting their Chaos Defiled. Unfortunately, next turn they can have 2 Goblin Welders and just beat my line. I need them to mess up. Tap your welder. Do literally anything with your welder. Nope, didn't fall for it. Now we're very dead. They haven't welded yet. They don't have to yet, though. Okay, we're both in just kind of welder check, except their Saga's a turn above mine, and their... Okay. That makes it interesting. If they aggressively welder in the end step, thinking they could copy and make another welder, I can't get a blowout here. Please tap your welder. Saga. Ugh, they're being so patient. I hate it. Okay. They are floating a mana, which makes me feel like they have a Painter Servant. I don't think they're going to paint it blue for me. That would be too easy. Painter Servant confirmed. I have 2 answers to this, and they have 3 covers. Okay, they're passing the turn, or just moving to combat, realizing they could probably safely chill and still get this done. I'll take 5, and make a construct. And if they wait too long here, I'm just going to grindstone them. Okay, you grindstone me. I'm going to Pyroblast your Painter. Come on, Magic Online. Catch up here. There we go. They did name blue, that helps. And now they can copy. They're thinking really hard how they're going to do this. And they copy. I bolt the copy. They weld back. I weld it away. I actually have them beat on what we can see. Okay, I'm going to let this blast resolve. Then I'm going to Lightning Bolt. They've got 2 cards in hand. 1 onboard trick left. Just got to hope that hand is blank. Okay, they are welding, looks like Painter into Soul Guide Lantern. And then they have to Soul Guide Lantern their own Painter so they don't die here. Oh, they're going after my Chaos Defiler. This only exiles opponent's graveyards. Okay. As long as this grindstone doesn't mill my other grindstone. 2 looks. All right, missed the grindstone. I think we did it, team. They haven't been playing like their hand is anything, which means I float a colorless. I get my grindstone. I weld their construct token into Painter Servant. Right now, when their welder is tapped, they have to name a color. It's not optional. Wow. Somehow outmaneuvered with our lower resources on every single front. We managed to get away with that one. Okay. We take it. Lightning Bolt's in. Fury's in. I think I like Fairy Macabre well enough. Maybe not all 3, but certainly some number. Vexing Bauble, once again, embarrassing and worthless. That's not to say the whole card is embarrassing and worthless, but it is certainly not good here. Oh, I have a bunch of Hearses and Soul Guide Lantern. I probably don't want Fairy Macabre, actually. Maybe, like, 1. I want some of these Red Blasts out. That was really embarrassing for a long time. Okay, I've got some Graveyard Hate. I have Artifact Count up. I have plenty of red cards for Fury. Needle's an interesting one because we have all the same cards. It's probably worth it, and I'll shave another Pyroblast. Okay, just a little extra pressure where it matters, and Fury is a whole pivot game plan. I like Saga, I like Welder. We might get run over, but I'm in. Furnace, Petal. This build of the deck doesn't have Great Furnace in it, which is an interesting point of comparison. Great Furnace is weak against everything that the rest of the deck is weak against, but you do also get extra artifacts to weld around, which has been a concern for me in these games. A Braid. Okay, that's gone. Saga, Engineer. That was a nice follow-up draw. Do I put Painter in here and go for the win off the Grindstone, or do I just get Dragon Engine? I think I want Dragon Engine. Come get me. My hand's pretty bad. I would not mind looting this into 3 new cards. Okay, you have a Saga, but it's behind mine. You have a Fable. I don't have one of those at all. Unless you count Dragon Engine, which is kind of like a Fable. Lightning Bolt. That gives me some options. I think I just pass for now. So I don't really want to spend Lotus Petal on Lightning Bolt, but I do want to make constructs. Ensnaring Bridge and Mountain in their graveyard now. I boarded that card out. They've got 3 cards in hand. I don't think I can afford to fight over this treasure with the Lightning Bolt. That treasure does make their constructs bigger. Their constructs are going to be way bigger than mine just with the Great Furnaces, in addition to everything else that's going on. Construct. Vexing Bauble. I'm going to make another construct. They're making one in response, so I can't needle their Saga, which I could still do if I don't want to play against 2 constructs here. Or I could get Grindstone and figure out how I'm winning this game. I'm going to do that. Mountain. And if they get to a point where they can tutor, yeah, I'm going to flip one of the constructs into Dragon Engine. Oh, they do have the Macabre. Okay. That was good. For them. Terrible for me. That might have been a game-winning play. Like, we had the same thought here, but theirs found a target, and mine hasn't yet. I do have a Grindstone in play, though, but so can they if they want one. Now the first person to deploy a Painter better have mana immediately to grind the opponent. They're going Soul Guide Lantern, just making sure my graveyard isn't aligned to win. Fable's really good. Does anyone know that? Have we talked about that before on the channel? I'm going to take 6. Is what it is. They've got an Engineer now. My Fairy Macabre might do something. Dump to Dragon Engine. Painter off the top for the win. Ancient Tomb. Not what I wanted. A Vexing Bauble makes my construct bigger. It's also a redraw. Does redrawing help me right now? I'm going to bolt their Reflection. Just to at least keep that part of the game from going insane. Play Mountain and pass. I'm going to have to chump block one of the constructs this turn. But this gives me the most looks at Painter and Spike the combo. Here they come. Jump block one of them. I go to 6. Fable. That doesn't change the axis of the game I have to win on, which is draw Painter Servant right now. Bauble draws a card. Painter. Chaos Defiler. Painter. Grindstone. Wrong side of the combo. I appreciate you trying, though, deck. Does this buy me time? It does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to save 2 life off the Ancient Tomb. And again, once this trigger resolves, the thing is dead. It's not like I target a construct token and then they can weld that token away. They just tap 2 mana and then change their mind. I feel like they have a Braid, but then just remember this creature has a death trigger too. And Chaos Defiler has come up big every single one of these matches. Then they'll probably try to weld their Dragon Engine back this turn. And I have the Macabre that I've been sitting on the whole game. Though they did just telegraph a Braid, which makes my Painter win a lot harder to assemble. Okay, just no action at all on the Engineer. They must like the card in hand. Yeah, and declined Fable. I think they do have a Braid. I have a big spicy combat object in play right now. Yeah, I just block the construct. I'll end up at 2. Oh no, I need to block another one because I need Ancient Tomb if I'm going to win this. Okay. These are the blocks. I'm at 4. And I'm in the same spot I've been the whole game, which is gotta draw Painter. And I can kill something here. They have fully passed priority. I think it's Engineer. That just removes some of the tricks they could play, but if their hand is a Braid, which I think it is, it doesn't matter. Okay, they got me. Alrighty. Game 3, I'm on the play this time. Vexing Bauble is just really bad. My artifact count is so low if I do that. And would I bring in another Macabre? I just died with Macabre in my hand literally the entire game, never did anything. Yeah, I'm just submitting the same deck. I could see arguments for the Apostle's Blessings, but I also will just jam with what I got. Turn 1 Fable. I'll keep it. That's pretty good in this matchup. And the Fable hopefully will carry me into more red mana. Bang. This is how we want to start this. There's a Pyroblast in my hand. I'm happy to loot away. Even if they do bolt my Shaman, I can just start Saga gaming. Okay, Lightning Bolt in my hand. I'm going to loot away Pyroblast, keep the other cards. Attack. And probably Welder here. I'm operating on thin margins of red mana, but that's okay. We are operating. That's what matters. We've got a Saga. Agatha Soul Cauldron. That's very powerful in this matchup. Makes this Welder quite a bit worse. My Fable flips. And might as well just go to combat, I guess. With everything. Yeah, this Soul Cauldron is cramping my style, so I'll just bash with the squad, leave up Lightning Bolt, and try to win with damage before they set up. You've got a Welder. I could get tricky because they can exile that with Soul Cauldron. Red Blast, not a good card. Okay. Make another construct. I do have a Needle here. I could name Welder or Soul Cauldron. Either one is pretty good. What is their Welder actually doing? I think I named Soul Cauldron here, because I can bolt the Welder. But then the Soul Cauldron gets around that anyway. I can name Grindstone and just bet. Yeah, I'm going to Needle Grindstone. If they don't combo me, I think I'm in good shape. I'm going to copy Goblin Shaman, because the Goblin Shaman makes the constructs bigger and gets me more spells this turn. Attack with everything, including the Welder. I don't give a shit. Let it die. That's not what this game's about. And they are trading off Welders with me. Going to 6 life, which I know is 3. They don't know that, though. So Red Blast, probably not going to do anything. They're just exiling my Welder for good measure. It's fine. I wasn't using it. Moment of truth. Do they have a path out of this? I have lethal damage a bunch of different ways. My constructs are bigger than Fury. They're making a construct that can be 4/4 and get the abilities of Goblin Welder. Pithing Needle. Sure, they're going to name Reflection of Kiki Jiki, which does not matter unless they have more. They're still just dead in combat. Ooh, no spells cast, no land played. I think they're dead, team. They are dead on board, and I have a Lightning Bolt that they don't know about. Because once I attack, each construct will become 6/6, and then I also just have 4 other damage plus Lightning Bolt if they figure out everything, if they answer the construct somehow. And they did not. Turn 1 Saga on the play, Reflection on the play. Turns out to be pretty good. A 4-1 result, playing against basically 0 of the decks that we talked about in the deck tech, all the reasons why Painter is well positioned. We kind of played against some off-brand versions. We had played against that Esper Frog deck where the pile of Pyroblast was good, and we played against Cloudpost where the Magus of the Moons were good, but we didn't play against Eldrazi or Dimir or Grixis Delver, like any of the things that we were really targeting. But it turned out that didn't matter, other than the one matchup where we just got run over by Initiative, a deck that is wildly unpopular right now. We had some complete raffle stompings, and we had some really cool back and forth games. I'm still not entirely sure what happened in that game 1 versus Painter, where they were ahead on every single resource, then we won. I'm sure if you crunch that tape, if you're really interested in playing Painter and seeing how the mirror works, you could figure out where my opponent left room for me to do that, because I feel like I shouldn't have been able to. The Painter build, obviously, like 2 unlicensed hearses that were almost never good, 7 Pyroblasts in a league where I probably wanted 2. Like there is room for flexing in this shell based on what you think the metagame's going to be. And even though I was not built at all correctly for this metagame, we still went 4-1. It was still hyper competitive and had a great result. Painter is well positioned, very cool deck. Keep your eye on this one moving forward. Rob, thanks for asking me to play it. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.